What's up, FPV enthusiasts? Hypnos FPV here, and we've got the new Tanq frame. And we're going to put it together today and take a look at it. So this is just going to be your typical frame assembly video, and we'll take a look at what this new Tanq frame is all about. I've done a previous video already on the Tanq when I bought the pre-build and pre-tuned to see how that was coming straight from Rotor Riot, but this time I'm going to put one together myself because I prefer building myself. So we're going to go ahead and use this frame here. And to keep in line with the Tanq itself, I went ahead and picked up another set of the Let's Fly RC motors so that we'll be able to use this on this build too. Let's just go ahead and open this bag up and take a look at what this frame has to offer. So the first thing out of the bag here is just some Rotor Riot branded grip. Pretty standard. And the camera 3D print inserts. Got the top and bottom plates here, and you can see that there is a completely new design here for the camera plates. Of course, we've got the 4 arms, and last but not least, some Rotor Riot branded skid plates here. So let's just go ahead here and get all this stuff out of its packaging and get to assembly. So these camera plates here definitely feel solid. Now, taking a look here at the original Tanq here, don't mind the broken props and everything. I was putting it through some abuse the last time I flew it. So these camera plates here definitely look a little bit different. This one is a little bit bigger, I think, than the old one, but they are the same thickness overall. The arms themselves look pretty similar, but I do think that they have been improved over the initial ones. Now, something that I mentioned in the last frame assembly video I did, which was the Joshua Bardwell's QAVS 2, is I really wish that they would start marking the hardware, even if it was just like a little sticker like this, you know, that just says like for top plate or for your electronic stack, you know, just something to let you know what the hardware is actually used for. I think that would be really helpful for builders, especially newer builders overall, or just someone like me who's just not very smart, you know. I'm gonna put a screw in here and then I'm gonna realize halfway through the build that, oh, I wasn't supposed to use that one. So I am going to state that again. I really do wish that it would be something that would start being used. So one thing I do want to do here is go ahead and just measure the thickness and weigh the arms and camera plates just to give you an idea. This is the Tanq. We do know that this is heavier than a lot of freestyle frames. And here for measuring it, in one of the frame assemblies that I did in the previous video, the calipers weren't that great, so I did go ahead and purchase a much nicer one here. So this will be my first time actually using it. So let's see just how much better this one works. Hopefully much better. So the thickness of the arm here that I am reading is 7.86. We know that the arms in the previous Tanq was measured in at 8, I believe. I don't really think I can accurately do this with the electronics. Let's see if we can make it work there. So upside down there, I'll go ahead and flip it over in editing. But yeah, so we're getting 8.17 is the overall thickness from the first one. Yeah, the 8.17 from the first one to the 7.84 here for the new arms, which is thinner, so a little bit of weight save there. Now, just one arm here comes in at 21 grams exactly. Now for the camera plate, the weight for that comes in at 15 grams. And the thickness for the camera plate 6.13 millimeters, which I believe is the same for the first tank, which looks like we're getting basically 6 millimeters even for those ones. So with no hardware standoffs or the 3D print, the frame itself comes in at exactly 160 grams. And of course, if my numbers do seem off to you at all, feel free to let me know in the comments. And I'm measuring just based on what I have here. I'm not by any means a professional or have the best hardware to actually do this. I'm just trying to see what measurements and everything that I get and share it with you, just in case anyone happened to be interested. They do have some press nuts already pre-pressed in here, which I always appreciate. So that's going to be the general layout here. Let's show again here. You will take the four arms and they will go on like such. So with the other bottom plate here, the pieces with the press nuts face up here, and then you just line up these holes. And that's pretty much how the bottom section of the frame goes together with the arms. Of course, I don't have any hardware in here yet, but just wanted to give kind of a visual representation on how to get there. So let's go ahead and get hardware now. So this is the part where I was saying I really wish they were marked, because here I'm like, okay, these are probably the screws for the stack here, so we're just going to grab them. Hope they work, but I don't know, because they're not labeled. Alright guys, so just a quick recap real quick on what we've done so far. So we've got the two bottom plates, with the arms in there, and these four center screws here. You'll screw right in through the arm up into the press nut here, so it'll be flush with those. And once you get that in, it's all nice and secure, so that way you can go ahead and take the four long screws here and put those in for the stack. You can put them in here through the hole. Just give it a quick little twist to get it started. Once you get that started, go ahead and tighten them down. Alright, so you get those four screws in right there through those holes. You'll have your stack screws poking through there. That is perfect. Now, the arms are still just a bit loose because we still have these back screws to work with right here. The camera plate is going to take care of these front ones here, so we don't have to worry about a standoff here in the front ones. But here in the back, you'll want to go ahead, grab a standoff screw. Might have to work the arm into position. There we go. Go ahead and get that started through. Go ahead and get that started. Now, bear in mind here, I'm just assembling this frame right now, so I will eventually go back through myself and re-secure everything. And one thing I do want to point out and recommend here is definitely have some blue Loctite on hand here. When I go back through and finish up this frame by myself later, I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of blue Loctite to make sure that these screws will be secured and not come loose as often as it would if you just screw them in yourself. So if you've never built a frame before, that's kind of a pro tip there, and it works great. So I would definitely recommend that. All right, let's go ahead and get the other standoff. So there's a couple different ways. You saw how I held this one in for the last one and just screwed it in. You can just poke the screw through and just hand twist it on, and then go back through later and tighten it. Now we will have 2 standoffs that we need here on the back, so I'm going to grab 2 of the shorter screws. We shouldn't need anything crazy long to secure these. Hook that in, hand tighten that on. And tighten that down, and that's pretty much it for the standoffs. We will have 2 more standoffs to use that will go between the camera plates there for mounting like a GoPro mount. But slowly but surely we're starting to get something that resembles a nice 5-inch frame here. Pretty cool. Alright, so next let's go ahead and start putting on those camera plates. Now, like I mentioned here earlier, you don't need standoffs right here because the way this is going to fit onto the frame is basically just going to act as if it's its own little standoff. Adjust it a little bit just to make sure the holes are lined up. Alright, so once you get this through and you know that they are all lined up, go ahead and just back it out just enough to where it's flush with the carbon there. It'll make it a lot easier to screw in the camera plate. So now once you get that flush, you can go ahead, just set that right in position. There we go, like so. Tighten that down. And a screw for the front part there. And rinse and repeat for the other side. Alright guys, so the next thing we need to do here is actually go ahead and get the standoffs in here between. Now, if we do take a look at the original Tanq here, it's kind of the same process. It looks like I actually lost a screw here, but you got your GoPro mount that has holes for the standoff, and then you would just screw it on there to keep the GoPro mount in place. I'm not going to be mounting the GoPro just yet, so I'll just go ahead and throw these on for now, just to have them there. Just work that in between, like so. Let it stand up. Bit of a tight fit, but it will go in. Careful not to over tighten so you don't strip the threads in the standoff itself. There it is. And then next you got your top plate here. I'm just going to toss in a couple of screws here just to hold the top plate on, since I will be disassembling this frame. And that completes the frame assembly. Really nice looking frame here. And actually, you know what? I did say I was screws in, but I do want to get a weight of the whole frame. So I will put the screws in. Alright, so we have all of the hardware in. No screws or for the motors yet. I can, I guess, add those on later. We will go ahead, tossing these 3D printed inserts for the camera plate. Press it in from the inside. It's the way to go. All right. And that purple definitely makes that look a lot better there. That silver and purple. Big fan. Frame on there. And it is 188 grams. Now, taking a look at the product page here, specifications show that the weight is 175 grams. Looks like we're about 13 grams over that. So I'm not entirely sure if it's my scale that's not being perfect or if it is something else. Just give it another go. Okay, yeah, so we're sitting at 186 now, so 11 gram difference. As I said, I don't know what the actual cause of that would be, whether or not it's just my scale or 3D prints in. You can go ahead and head out and take a look and see if that makes the difference. And it only brought us down to 183. But regardless, still, even just looking at the weight difference from the product page versus what I'm getting here, it's honestly negligible. I am curious to see how this frame holds up on some crashes. So in the next video I do, I will have this one built and be ready to give it some test flights. So I guess really that's all I have for this one. Just kind of wanted to do a little frame assembly and just kind of get myself excited about giving this frame a new try. Yeah, so thanks for watching.